On the eve of the Republic Day celebrations, it is my pleasure and privilege to greet all of you, my fellow citizens at home and abroad, and convey to you my good wishes. A very eventful year has just passed. The common man has reaffirmed his belief in democratic values and resorted our distinction as the largest living democracy in the world. On this occasion, each one of us has to ask ourselves in all humility whether we have followed the inspiring example set by the leaders of this ancient land. It is disappointing that the professional classes as well as business and industry have not shown sufficient evidence of their being prepared to accept their share of national responsibility. The future is unfolding itself. The coming elections to the state assemblies afford an occasion for all political parties to prove their dedication to democracy and cleanliness in public life. What is important is not the result but how it is achieved. The campaign must be conducted with dignity only on the basis of clear-cut programs and policies. Once again, our voters will have the option of choosing not their masters but their servants. We must prove ourselves a mature people pledged to the process of democracy and the democratic way of life. Our people must be enabled to exercise their franchise without any hindrance. My government will guarantee this birthright of every eligible voter. For the first time since independence, our political life is not dominated by one political party. Today, men of good conscience are working for the good of the nation. This is in itself a great achievement. Let us not isolate and exaggerate honest differences of opinion. India is one country and Indians are one people. Let no one underestimate our strength or take us for granted. Our continued progress on the agricultural front and our determination to reach the benefits of planned development to the rural areas and to the economically weaker sections of society will better the quality of life of millions of our countrymen. This requires good political will and determined administrative action. Today we are recognized as one of the 10 most industrially advanced nations in the world. Our administration is fortunate to have firm, dynamic political leadership. The younger generation who join the various services are motivated and have the capacity for hard work. Let us forge out of these qualities a result-oriented instrument to implement our plans for the future and to build the India for our dreams. Those in the administration who act without fear or favor in the national interest will have nothing to fear. Let us not forget that in this country where the majority live below the poverty line, even the lowest paid industrial worker either in the public or private sector or government servant is a privileged citizen. The inconvenience resulting from shortages and price increases must be shared by all. If this is to be done, there is no escape from a start being made in limiting profits and dealing sternly with those who commit economic and social crimes. We have to develop a new administration with discipline and dedication and make it responsive to the people's problems and aspirations. On an occasion like this, one is struck by the unity of our country in spite of several apparent diversities. Not even during the times of Ashoka was India politically one. The Britishers with their might and skill molded us into one large political entity. Our country, which is a subcontinent, should not be allowed to break up on any issue. History has cast upon us the wondrous responsibility of maintaining the unity and vitality of our great nation. I am convinced that we can achieve this through mutual goodwill and understanding. Let us therefore resolve that no considerations, no issues and no forces will be allowed to impair our basic unity and richness of culture and heritage. We are pledged to the concept of federalism. During the recent conference of governors, I was happy to see that there was great measure of harmony between the central government and the state governments run by different political parties. Let us not forget that some of our leaders in the states are men of distinction with a long record of service to the country. If our political parties realize that despite their differences, they can work together for the common good of the people and evolve agreements on major issues, problems of socio-economic development within a democratic framework should become less difficult. All our political parties are committed to the speedy elimination of poverty, social injustice, and exploitation. The minorities and the economically weaker sections of society must be encouraged to increasingly participate in the national affairs. Since the launching of our first 5-year plan, our agricultural production, industrial production, and exports have increased considerably. But the gains of development are nullified by the explosive growth of population. This vital national problem brooks no delay. It is the duty of all political parties to prevent this national menace. Many problems loom large on the horizon. We must face them with courage and self-confidence. Some disparate elements in our democratic way of life and destroy the very fabric of our secular society. While every one of us is entitled to freedom of expression in appropriate forums, no one should be permitted to drag each and every issue to the streets and advocate disrespect for law and order. Such a policy of unwarranted confrontation should be curbed. Let not a few misguided sections of society imagine that they can hold the people to ransom. Swift and stern action will be taken against anyone acting in a manner prejudicial to the national interest. Today we salute our defense services who stand guard on our borders and guarantee our territorial integrity. Their courage and valor in the face of the several hardships deserve our admiration and gratitude. Friends, I have an abiding faith in the great future that awaits India. On this historic day, let us all rededicate ourselves to the formidable tasks which face the country and enter confidently into an era of hope, freedom, and achievement. Jai Hind.